Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're so excited to be here today. Today, we have the amazing Emily Midgett with us to discuss the Craft Your Life retreat that is coming up, the Spec-TECH-ular Blossoms. We're so excited to have this retreat. So it is on October 29th, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Classes run about 90 minutes. You have about a half an hour off, and then we go right back to it. So we got 6 classes throughout the day. Emily will be teaching 2 of those first thing up in the morning. If you purchase now through the 18th, so through the end of the day tomorrow, you save $40 on this amazing kit. So right now it's $159. If you put it in your cart, it automatically goes that price. No coupon code. You're all set and ready to go. So what is in the kit, you might ask, that Emily's going to be designing with, as well as we have Kelly Taylor, we just had that Q&A with, and we have Anne-Marie Caster and Annette Darrow. So there's going to be an Ambridge Rose Craft Your Life kit and a Lotus Frame Craft Your Life kit. Those include a 6x8 stamp set, a die set, a 3D embossing folder, and a stencil. So you get all that. Plus, Altenew loves to throw in extra goodies. You guys know Altenew. They love to share with you guys. So you get 12 A2 card bases to work on throughout the day, an obsidian pigment ink pad, detailed blending brushes, brushed gold metallic cardstock. And that's a full set, like a full package, and some friendly cat stickers, because who doesn't want a cute little kitty when you send out the beautiful cards that you are going to make on the 29th with us? So with that all out of the way, all of the kind of the shop talk, let's get to know a little bit about Emily. So how are you doing today, Emily?
I'm good. I'm a little frazzled. I'm on my way home from a retreat and got caught in traffic and didn't make it home in time. So I am in my car.
So
Thank
she
goodness
can relate
for
to, we
technology.
craft anytime.
Yes.
Like if we have to,
And
we
talk
stop
about
in the middle of-
crafting.
yeah. We stop anywhere and craft. We have to do it. So can you introduce yourself? How long have you been crafting? Like your kind of style, all of that.
Well, I started crafting, I've kind of crafted my whole life. I've dabbled in lots of different things. But I really started paper crafting about 13 years ago, right after my husband and I got married. I was desperate to find the perfect wedding thank you notes, and of course couldn't find any that I liked that weren't like $5 each. So I thought, oh, I'll go to Hobby Lobby and I'll find some stamps and I'll save so much money making my own stamped thank you notes. And yeah, that was a very naive idea on my part. So that was the start of the slippery slope. But my husband likes to say that it started with a Cricut, but it was really the thank you notes. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
And I think a lot of us started there. We're like, oh, this is so much cheaper than buying individual cards. And fast forward a little bit, but it's very good for us. It's very good. It mental health, happiness. So that's
it ended up being, we had some trouble having a baby. And so it ended up being kind of therapeutic to have that to kind of take my mind off of having that trouble. So yeah, and then it just kind of morphed into a job, which is delightful. So
it feels wrong using the word job. Like
it really does, because I enjoy it so much.
We should come up with a better word. We have to come up with a better word for that.
A jobby. It's a hobby and a job.
It's yes. So you heard the word here first.
A jobby.
Very exciting. We're making the words today as well with Emily. So how can you not have a fun day? And it's a good start to a Monday. We create new words. We're just getting ready to craft, because it's only 12 days away. Only 12 days, and it's going to go by so fast. So when you got the box, like, what was your first reaction with the box?
My first thought was, ooh, kitty stickers. Where did those come from? But the Ambridge Rose set is so beautiful. It's just so much, it's a lot of value in one box. And it's stuff that you can use together. You can use each individual piece separately. So I feel like there's a lot of versatility in there. And then that brushed gold paper, I love all of the colors of that brushed gold, or of that metallic paper. So if you find yourself liking that paper, there are, I think, 4 other colors of that, and you will want them all. I promise.
Yeah. There's
I
the brushed
craft so
copper,
beautifully.
brushed
Rose
rose
gold.
gold,
The
the
rose gold is my
silver,
favorite.
the brushed silver, and the brushed gold. The brushed rose gold is my favorite. I saw
Yes.
that and I melted. I'm like, oh my,
Yep.
and it's like
I have
butter.
2 packs of it. I
We
can't
won't
run
discuss.
out.
We won't discuss what I have in my alternate warehouse. I have my own little alternate warehouse, but we won't talk about that. I live alone, so I'm able to have a warehouse. Do you have much of a warehouse or?
Well, so when my little boys were born, I had to downsize my craft room because they took my craft room for their room because they have to sleep somewhere. So my room got kind of downsized a little bit. So I have like an entire 12-foot wall of just IKEA cubes. So it's kind of a warehouse, but it's a small warehouse. It's not a huge warehouse.
You don't need huge. Just it's good to have a backup because it's hard at 1 a.m. if you're running a phone tape. What are you going to do?
Yep.
So you got to have a backup. You
Yep.
have to have a backup.
Yep.
So, what we don't want to give away the whole thing, but what can you tell us about each of your classes that you're going to be doing at the retreat?
Well, coloring is my jam. So if there's going to be coloring involved, I've really been enjoying watercoloring on the 3D embossed images, because the dimension that you can get with that, it's just otherworldly. So that there's a, I don't know if that gives away my class or not. But then we'll do some alcohol ink coloring as well. That's my other favorite thing.
Wow. It's hard to have we discussed this before we came live on air. It's hard to pick a favorite. Like it really is, like they're all our favorites.
Like picking a child.
It is. And how can you can't do that. You can't pick a favorite. You just can't do it. So, the couple questions that we have specifically for Emily, and if you have a question in there that's burning for Emily, put it in the chat and I will try to get to it. So you're a brilliant artist. You not only color beautifully, but you draw out of the world gorgeous florals. What do you like more? And I'm putting you on the spot. This is making you choose a child. I'm very sorry. Coloring or drawing? Where do you fall on that?
I don't know.
That's a toughie.
I enjoy seeing my ideas come to life with the illustrations just because it's mine, and I know that I'm not breaking any copyright rules because it's mine.
Yes.
But I don't know. Coloring, I mean, Altenews images are just stunning, all of them. And so I don't know that I can pick that.
That's
not
hard.
nice.
And I mean, sometimes do you think possibly, I know I go through phases where, I don't illustrate, but do you go through phases, do you think, where maybe drawing's more your jam and then you
I
kind of
do
go
have
back and forth?
phases where I'm more inspired for drawing. I get a lot of inspiration from like wedding photos. And so when wedding season is really heavy, I follow a lot of florists on Instagram. And so when wedding season is in full swing, that's when I have a lot of juices flowing. When it's Christmas time and we've got Christmas craft supplies to play with, I think I might love Christmas almost as much as flowers. So then the juices are flowing for card making. So.
And that led into the next question, because your artwork is so detailed and beautiful, is it something does it hard for you, or do you think it really comes easy for you? Or is it a toss up some days?
Is the card making easy
No,
for me?
so
The illustrations?
when you find when you get the inspiration for your artwork, does it seem to come easy or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It comes super easily. Yeah. I look at pictures, like I go on Pinterest and I'll just pin. And then I'm like, okay, too many ideas. How do I pick which one to draw first? And I'm working in snippets of time. So that it almost creates like an anxiety, like freeze, because I'm like, I don't know what to do first because I have so many ideas. But yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Do you get stuck on ideas? You know how like you have a card, like you see a set or you see a floral and you have it in your head and you can't, like it's a roadblock. You can't move until you do that
Yep,
project. Do you have that
absolutely,
happen to you? Yeah.
absolutely.
How do you get
It
over the roadblock? Do you just stop and
I
you
just
have to do it?
Yep.
Or are you able to kind of jump the roadblock and
Well, it
move
just
on?
depends. I mean, I work a lot on deadlines
Yeah.
because I work for so many different companies. And so there are some times that I'm like, I have to get this done. Like I don't have any other choice because my deadline is tomorrow. So then I'm kind of able to kind of jump over it. Um, but yeah, if with that, like if I'm assigned a specific set and I have an idea for it, I can't not do that idea. It's a problem.
It's like it has to happen. It was
Mhm.
meant to be. And yeah. See,
Sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not, but I don't know if it would be a photographic memory, but I'm pretty good at visualizing what my card is gonna look like.
yeah.
Once I get my color scheme, that's my first step. Once I get my color scheme figured out, then I can kind of figure out from there what the card will be, and it usually, I would say probably 9 times out of 10 ends up looking like the idea I had in my head, so
I call it percolating because I could be doing dishes or something, but I'm the same way. Like I can move stuff around in my head, and then I'm like, oh, but
Mhm.
what about this cover die or what about this color? And it takes me a while to process through it, but once I do, I can come in and make it, and it's quick. It's a quick
If I get a new
process.
box of supplies, sometimes I'll just sit down with some blank paper and I'll just make sketches. And then that also, because I'm working on very limited time, I have to really make that time count. And so when I have those sketches, that really helps me to kind of streamline the process and make it go more quickly.
We have a question. What season colors inspire you?
Oh boy.
That's a
Um,
toughie too. You get
that
some
is a
tough
tough one.
questions today. Holy
Man, you guys are
Toledo.
mean. Um, I don't know. I don't like orange. Which is really funny because my husband is a redhead and he's like and a freckly redhead, so he's like super orange. But I don't like orange. So fall is probably not my favorite. Um, I like the really bright colors of spring and summer, the really bright, like cool pinks and purples and blues and aqua. But warm colors are not my favorite. So
So
not
at Chris
fall.
Now, Christmas, are you so the holiday season, we'll call it, are you more traditional colors or are you more non-traditional colors for the holiday
Both.
season? Both.
I love
Yeah.
both. I love a good bright, like intense jewel ruby red with lots of
Yes.
white and lots of, gold accents and stuff. But I also really love, doing the pastels with the pinks and the aquas and blue and stuff, mixing those all together. So I'm kind of, I just love holiday crafting in general. I don't have a specific answer for that. Sorry.
How early do you start the holiday crafting?
Oh boy.
That's a dangerous question too, but since it kind of came up.
It's mostly, I don't want to say under duress because that makes it sound like I don't enjoy it. It's I start getting Christmas product, holiday product in the middle of summer. For like catalogs and things. I start getting that as early as June. So I'm sitting there with my fans, all blowing on me and it's sweltering hot outside and I'm listening to Christmas carols because I'm making Christmas cards. So it's not usually Christmas time when I'm Christmas crafting.
You're usually way past that at the holiday mark. You've moved on to summer essentially. So
Yep.
you're kind of
Pretty
flip-flopped a
much
little bit with the
springtime.
seasons.
Yep.
So we don't want to give away all the secrets, but for beginner card makers, do you have any advice? And we will have more advice during the retreat, but just to get you guys a little curious about some advice that Emily has for us.
Um, for beginning crafting, one mistake that I made was thinking that I could bypass the good supplies
Yeah.
with kind of the like fill-ins. Um, if it's in your budget, it's worth it to just get the good stuff from the beginning. I did a lot of trying to save money because we were newly married and, I was young and trying to budget and learn about how to run a house and all that. Um, and now looking back, I think I wasted more money trying to save money
Yeah.
than anything else. So, if you get good quality basics, that will last you forever. Like my stamping tools and good scissors, those kinds of things. They're worth it to spend the little extra money because you won't be buying replacements.
And that's what I think is so great about these retreats and these kits is these are so versatile because
Mhm.
you get that 4-piece set. You got, like you said, the embossing folder with watercolor. There's no words. Like, it's stunning. It's just gorgeous. That extra oomph that it gives you.
Mhm.
And what's special about this one is you get 2 of those sets. So,
Mhm.
and they're so versatile and they
And
last.
you
They
can
go
use the
on.
pieces individually. You don't have to use all
Yes.
of them together. Like one of my cards combines 2 of the different sets. I mean, it's not, I don't want to give too much away. But you don't have to use just one set with just that set. You can mix and match, and you can use one piece by itself. You can use 5 different pieces. It's very versatile.
And
Those
that's what I
crafty
think.
ones are
That's
great
what we love
value.
about Alt New is they think of that because they're
Mhm.
crafters too. So they understand, what we're going through, and they've been there, I'm sure too, because that was my story too. I invested in dollar ink pads. Where did I think that was going to go? It's not going to go well, and I think the same thing with you. I wasted so much money trying to be thrifty that if I would have just invested in solid supplies that were going to last me for years, I would have been better off. And I think that's like almost the best piece of advice that you can give, a beginner crafter as well with that. Now, so I know you started out with the invitations. Was it stamping or was it watercolor that you
It
started
was
with?
stamping.
Stamping.
I started out with stamping in a Cricut. And I started kind of making scrapbook pages to scrapbook our wedding. And then I started morphing that into, I wanted to do this as a job. I knew that I wanted to try to craft for, to make money for our family. And so I started making like custom scrapbooks for babies. And then
Oh,
that kind of morphed into really making like Christmas cards. I love Christmas crafting in general. And so then that kind of just, it kept morphing. And then I watched actually Dawn from W+9. I watched her do some watercoloring with distress inks. And that just, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about.
it's your
Those things.
history. It's your history. It's your
Um,
story. It's your journey. So
I don't
yes.
use them anymore. But it was a eye-opening experience. It was like, I love this. This watercoloring is amazing. What else can I watercolor? And so that led me down a rabbit hole of all different kinds of outline stamps, which led me to Altenew. Because their stamps are so stunning for watercoloring, for coloring in general.
Do
I
you
do have
remember
a
your
funny
first one?
story.
Do you remember your first one?
Oh my
Your first stamp
gosh.
set from Altenew? It's another toughie. I didn't even tell you about that question. That's a toughie, but
You didn't.
I
I want to say
didn't
it was
know.
Vintage Roses, but I feel like that's too new.
No,
And that's a
Vintage
layering
Roses is
stamp set.
older. Mine was Antique Roses, so I was in the
Maybe
Rose
that's
family.
Maybe that's
That
the one that I'm thinking of. But it was a layering stamp set. That's not a coloring stamp set. So I don't know. I don't know.
that's a tough. Maybe
That's gonna
by the
require
retreat.
some
So you guys will have to come to the retreat to find out
I'm
what
gonna have to do some
Emily's
detective
first
work.
Altenew stamp set was. And yes, Sherry did point out today, Altenew has free shipping when you're purchasing over $29 today. Very, very exciting. So if you do choose to purchase the kit today, you will get free shipping with that. And we do have a few more questions for Emily, but I'll just go over one more time. We have the Ambridge Rose Craft Your Life kit, the Lotus Frame Craft Your Life kit, which is a 6x8 stamp set. And it has a 3D embossing folder that coordinates a die and stencil set. You get 12 A2 card bases, and those are super nice. I have a bunch of those in my office. Obsidian pigment ink. You get detail blending brushes, which are phenomenal. The brushed gold metallic cardstock, which Emily and I are both love. And you get the friendly cat stickers because I'm sure the mailmen get bored with all the plain envelopes. Let's dress it up. Let's put a cute cat on there. Why not? Why not? So Altenew thinks of everything with this, from your stamping all the way through to when you send this to your recipient to make their day. And Nabil had mentioned in a podcast that, crafters kind of wake up every day to do something for somebody else. So how nice is that?
Oh,
That
that's a
really,
nice way to think of it.
it really just stuck with me. It was in his podcast and it stuck with me on that. And we kind of do. So,
Mhm.
I mean, that's a wonderful thing, Emily. You get up every day and you inspire so many crafters.
Oh, that's
Um,
lovely. That's a
it's
lovely thought.
It is, and it's you're just doing something you're passionate about, and you inspire so many crafters with your designs. And you guys can look on the website and see some pictures that will be at the retreat, and you'll be able to tell which ones are which designers on there as well. So if you want to find out more. So another toughie question. You
Oh boy.
obviously super duper mad skills, off the hook, as the kids say. I can say that now, as the kids say. But we want to know, what is the one thing that you always are going to be like, this is gonna be some work for me, I think still.
I have two. My car is, I'm trying to charge my computer in my car, and my car's turned off, so it keeps like, I don't know. Sorry.
That's okay. Real life.
Yeah.
It's real life
My
of a
computer will
crafter,
be
my
plugged
loves.
into an actual wall outlet at the retreat, I promise. No traveling on retreat day. But I've noticed a progression. It wasn't a conscious progression of improvement since I started drawing. But I look at my initial drawings and I thought those were okay. And I look at the drawings that I'm doing now and it's like, wow, there is such a difference just practicing from that, a couple of years ago to now. But I would really like to learn more painting mediums. I'm fairly proficient at watercolor, I feel like. And I would like to learn like acrylic, gouache, the more opaque mediums. So that's more of something that I've dabbled a little bit, and I'm not super great at it. It's a completely different animal than watercolor. So it's something that is going to take some effort on my part, and conjuring up time to do that is kind of difficult right now. So, but yeah, painting and drawing, I can always work on those, always improve on them.
And I think that's so important. What you said is that, you've just been kind of going through your journey with it. But when you look back, you really notice, a difference. And I think that's the best advice, is stick with it. Stick with it.
Absolutely. That is
Yeah.
something that when I was working on my projects for the retreat, the one project started out and it was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is going to work okay. But if you power through, that is one of my best pieces of advice for me. Trust the process, trust the vision in your head. It may start out looking kind of crummy, but it will get there in the end. Once you finish all the steps, once you finish putting that last finishing paint stroke on there, you'll be like, wow, I made that. That's so cool.
Yeah. And I think that's the important thing, because it's usually, I always say, it's ugly before it's there, man. And you don't have to measure to anybody else's. My advice is always do it until you're proud. If you're proud of your work, that's all that matters, and you can.
Comparison is the thief of joy. Don't compare yourself.
Yes.
I mean, the skills that I want to teach in my class, you can apply those to anything, to any project. It doesn't have to be the projects from this class. That's what I hope to teach in my classes, is something that you can apply elsewhere. And so I hope that I can convey those skills well enough that people can apply them elsewhere, especially on all this stuff, because that's, my bread and butter.
Yes, I know. I understand what you're saying there. A little bit. Now, your class, do you feel like it can apply to beginner through advanced, or is it kind of in the middle, or do you have tips for all levels that we're going to share during the retreat, or how do you feel?
I would say it's probably intermediate to advanced. One of them is. The watercolor class probably is a little bit more advanced, just because it does have a little bit more concentration on like how much water versus how much paint, layering, that kind of thing. So if you are familiar a little bit with watercolors, you'll probably do better. I will try to go as slow as I can for those who are not as familiar with watercolor, but I've only got an hour and a half. So I'm going to have to move at a quick pace. And I was telling, what's your name? Bridget. Oh my God. Casey.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Monday. It's a Monday.
It's a Monday. It's been a day.
And it has been a day.
It's
Your
been a
brain is
day.
like,
I'm so sorry. I was telling her before class that I'm going to have to move quickly, but anybody who has questions is welcome to email me later after you watch it and you're like, oh my gosh, look at this. Email me with questions. I'm happy to answer questions.
and they're recorded. That's the great thing. That
Yes.
is the wonderful thing about these retreats. So say you're all excited to go Friday night and cousin Bob shows up and he's like, hey, I'm taking you to breakfast tomorrow. I haven't seen you in 20 years. Good news. These are recorded. So you can go enjoy breakfast with cousin Bob and come back, and Emily will still be there in your Alt New Academy waiting to show you how to watercolor, as well as you can go through step by step. You can pause it. So the recordings usually come out mid to end of the week, depending, on everything, because these retreats are a lot. There are a lot of moving pieces to them, and Altnu does them flawlessly. But behind the scenes, there are a lot of moving parts. So it's usually midweek that the videos will be there, but they're yours forever. Forever. You can go to Emily's class at 2 a.m, and Emily is happy to teach you, and she'll be smiling and laughing and having so much fun with you teaching. So
I would not be happy teaching at 2 a.m. for real, though.
no.
You can email me at 2 a.m, but I won't answer for a while.
So for one of the 24-hour retreats, we don't ask about that. And somebody had asked as well. Oh, Sherry said she had a watercoloring class with you and it was phenomenal.
Oh, wonderful.
Vicky had asked about their stencils for both. So both you get you get 2 6x8 stamp sets, 2 3D embossing folders, 2 stencil sets, and 2 die sets. So what's in them? I don't know, but you will get them. So if you've gotten your kit, you have a secret. You know what's in that amazing box. And those boxes come stuffed full of goodies. Altany wants to make sure that you get a nice, full, chunky box of goodies to craft.
And they're full of goodies that you can use after the class is over. They're not something that you can, that you're like, I'm not going to ever use this again. You'll use the stuff in there. The ink pads, the brushed gold cardstock, the stamp sets, you'll use it all. I promise.
And the great thing is if you've never used the detail blending brushes, you get to meet them. You get to use them that day. And you have people there to walk you through how to use those that day. So you also have, the A2 card bases, which if we don't have to cut card bases, how super cool is that? Saves us time. So that's always great. And like Emily said, these sets and the sentiments on them are really great ones and versatile ones to have in your stash. And they will mix and match for years to come. This kit is very versatile, and Altanu works very hard to make sure that this is something that's not just for one day, that this is something that's going to live in your space and be very, very useful in your crafting. So I'm so excited for the retreat. I always am. They go by too fast. It seems like they take forever to get here, and then they go by in the blink of an eye. What are your favorite thing? What are you looking forward to for your first retreat with Altanu?
Oh boy.
And now another surprise question. I do that. Amy will do that too. So I don't feel as bad. So
throw me off. Oh boy. Working with the product is always so much fun, and teaching techniques that are a little bit outside of maybe the normal wheelhouse. That's really fun for me. And I hope to interact with the students, but like I said, that watercolor class, I'm going to have to move quickly. But I'm hoping to be able to interact and talk to people and, kind of answer questions and chat.
Yeah, and you guys are able to, it's very similar to this. You won't see Amy during it. You'll just see Emily's hands when she's working, but you can post right in the chat and ask questions. And Virginia just popped in to say hello. Hello, Virginia.
Hi, Virginia.
Yes, check out this kit. This kit is absolutely phenomenal. And again, you get to keep the videos forever. They're yours forever. There are beautiful PDFs that the instructors have worked. Do you have any advice for prep for your class?
My classes. I listed some prep work for beforehand. Whatever you can get cut and embossed beforehand, whatever card bases and everything you can get beforehand would be helpful. Just those few minutes. When I was doing this by myself, timing it, it was close. for the watercolor class. The other class is not as intense. But yeah, it's whatever prep work you can get, whatever cardstock you can get cut beforehand, and embossing kit you can get done beforehand, that would be handy.
That is, and it's always good to have those. I know, because on those days too, you get excited because you're crafting, you're having fun, you're meeting new folks, but still you're a little nervous and you don't want to keep up. And so it's good to do like those kind of housekeeping things that you need so that you can focus on the technique that you're going through on that day. Well, we don't have very many sleeps. We only have another 12 days, and the retreat will be here with us. Make sure to check out on altnew.com the Craft Your Life Spec-TECH. I want to say spectacular, but it's spec-TECH-ular. So I always have to stop and say that. Blossoms. So make sure to go check that out, because the discount is only good through tomorrow. So as of Wednesday, it's going to be $199. So you're saving $40 through tomorrow. Plus there's free shipping today at $29. So very, very exciting. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Virginia. Virginia said we have very soothing voices. She could listen to us all day. Well, I could chat with Emily all day because
this is so fun, even in my car.
It is. I know. So maybe that's our thing. They do it like a night show like that. Maybe that's like car crafting.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's a thing. Maybe we started
riding in cars and crafting.
We're making up words. We're starting trends. Like, I'm so glad you guys didn't miss out on the fun. But if you're watching this after, we're sorry we missed you. Hope to see you at the retreat. And I look forward to learning so much more about Emily that day and seeing.
It's gonna be good.
The pictures are on the website, man. You guys got to go check. You're going to drool. I'm warning you, take a tissue. You're going to drool. The projects are gorgeous. It's going to be a fun day of laughing and meeting new friends. It's one of the best experiences I've ever had, is going to these retreats. I've been to all of them, and they're just beyond amazing. There are no words.
Audrey had a good question.
Yes, I was just going to get that.
Sorry.
No worries.
Pre-emboss, when I say emboss, I mean, you can use whatever sentiment, emboss in whatever sentiment you would like. My main thing is embossing I'm giving a lot away, embossing the embossing folder on your watercolor paper. I did specify a specific kind of watercolor paper that I prefer, that I find works really well with this technique, because it's a little more heavy duty, and that's all listed, I think, in the PDF.
Yep. And like Aaron put, the PDFs are all in the Facebook group. So if you want to, on there, Audrey, tag Emily if you have more questions, and she can just
absolutely.
She's in there. So if you have more questions after that, the PDFs are in there, so you can go check them out. But if you have more questions, like Emily said, feel free to reach out. Please, please, all the instructors, if you have questions, please reach out, and try to do it before if you want to prep. So that you are super relaxed that day, and we just have fun crafting with friends, new and old.
My biggest thing with the embossing, that's probably the biggest prep work that I would say you really ought to get done, because sometimes different machines emboss sandwiches differently. So that would be one thing that, if you want to play with that and make sure that you have a really nicely embossed image, that it's nice and raised up, that is probably my biggest request. If you a prep request, if you could get that done beforehand, so that way you're not getting flustered with that, because that stymies me a little bit. I'm like, now which company's sandwich is this? I don't remember. So then I have to go through a few pieces of paper, and it is annoying because I'm wasting paper.
Yes. And then 99% of the time it goes through perfectly, but that one time you're in a retreat and you need it to go through
and
perfectly,
you need it to go fast,
something happens. Yeah. Yep. Something, I can't tell you what, but something is going to happen 1% of the time. Okay, so Lori, that's a different thing. This is a Craft Your Life retreat. The Craft Your Life kit is a monthly subscription service that comes each month, and it has, those 4 pieces: the 6x8, the embossing, the stencil, the die. So those
are part of the Marvelous Monthly. That's a different thing.
That's a different beast.
You get 2 of these in this kit. You get 2 of those
Craft Your Life. Doing this. this is super extra special. This is history making. This is first time we're doing this. We have extra special guests with us, and they're doing 2 classes. 2 of the instructors are doing 2 classes. So super exciting. Lori, if you have more questions, please feel free to reach out to Altenew customer service, or go onto the website and put in the word retreat, and this will pop up. Thank you so much, Mary Jane. I know you've been to a few, which is wonderful. It's always good to see you guys come back. And like I said, friends new and old, it's an amazing experience. And Altenew had posted too, save $40 through tomorrow. We hope to see you there. And I'm sure it's been asked, but will we get a YouTube link, or will it be on Facebook? Belinda, I'm not sure of your question.
For her to watch in the future, where will it be? Where will the streaming be?
Okay. So once the retreat is over, it will be in your Altenew Academy. It'll be in there permanently.
That's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it goes up in it's about midweek, but we like to say midweek. And if they get it up earlier, it's exciting. But then, you're expecting midweek and it's there Tuesday. Hey, super stoked. It's a surprise. But we like to say about midweek. Yep. Okay. For the retreat. Yep. There'll be in your Altenew Academy. And they're in there forever. The PDFs will be in there. Everything you need for that will be in your Altenew Academy platform. And if you need any help with your Altenew Academy platform, reach out to customer service. Customer service is amazing. They are phenomenal. I don't know a better customer service. So just reach out if you have any questions. If you're going to the retreat and you're prepping and you have questions for the instructor, tag them in Facebook so that they can get those questions answered, so that we have an amazing crafty day with you. We are so looking forward to it. Thank you again so much, Emily, for having a crafty chat with us from your car.
That was an experience.
It's a first. We're doing a lot of firsts today. So absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon. And again, if you have questions, just post them in the Facebook and we will get to you as quickly as we can. Happy crafting, you guys.
Have on my blog, I have a list of supplies.
Okay.
Of things that I specifically have requested. I've got all of that listed on my blog as well. So if anybody follows my blog, it's there.
Yep. Beautiful, beautiful. So again, reach out. That's what we want to. All of our instructors are super, super approachable. So if you have questions, please, there is no silly question.
Absolutely.
At all. I've asked a lot of silly questions. So I say there's no silly question because I ask a lot of them. So please, the only question is, if we don't know, we can't answer it. So please feel free to reach out, and we will see you all in 12 days to have a crafty adventure together. Happy crafting, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Bye.